Hello all, Ray Dalton here. I'm coming to you from sunny, sweaty hot Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors. And tomorrow is our 6-year anniversary of Fornication. This is why I'm doing this video, to do a little update on where we've come and where we're going. So thank you all for your support, 6 years of it. In May of 2018, we launched our first fornication party officially. Prior to that, my friends and I had just gotten together for one time and we decided, hey, what's this look like? Let's do this drug-free sex party. And it was the May party that was official. We put it out there, invited friends, and that's where it all started. So the reason I did it was because for 5 years, as I traveled around the country, guys would talk about hooking up, and they said, hey Ray, I go on a grinder or at a bar, not at a bar, but usually if it's remotely and online, I stipulate no drugs, me or you, and more times than not, they said the guy would show up high. And they're like, not focused on shaming or telling people they can't do drugs. They just say, where can I go where it isn't there? Where we can go where I don't have to worry about the person ODing, just being around that, the disconnect, things that come along with that world. And so what we do is we've created a space where guys can get together and really connect. That's the bottom line. So after 5 years of that, I formulated what is now Fornication. By the way, Fornication, interesting name, right? Ever wonder where it comes from? I was excommunicated from the Mennonites for fornication. And that is where the name comes from. So let's get into the meat of it. So naturally, in 2018, we started. That was when I was with my boy David. We started together. He was at every one of them. He soon became my doorman. And we were often running. We had it at Chad Bush's house on Thursday nights while he was at the bar bartending at the Ramrod. And then he would come home and the party was done. And that was basically, he said I could use his place. We grew larger than that, than his space, and then we had it at In Leather up until COVID. And then when COVID hit, obviously we shut down. Of course, that wasn't easy, as it wasn't easy for any business. Post-COVID, we opened up around 1st of June. And after that, we decided we needed to find a new venue post-COVID. And so my friend David, another friend David, connected me with the guys at 321 Slammery in Fort Lauderdale. They were welcoming with us with open arms, and we're all about it. And so we've been there in the Fort Lauderdale space. So I talk about Fort Lauderdale a lot because that's where we started. I consider that the home of fornication, and it's where I spend a lot of time. So over the years, we've done parties around the country, many different cities. And what I want to focus on is, well, let's just, just a little details about this. Getting back into the swing of things post-COVID, I was like, well, it's time to grow. It's time to really get back into it, really jump, to grow. And so that was when I got an assistant, and it took us to the next level, focused on more parties, grew, and things like that. And then, of course, I had that assistant for about a year, and then monkeypox happened, and that was one of the biggest, hardest things that we ever faced during the 6 years. Canceling parties, what do we do? How long? How do we get through this? Being transparent, doing the best we can, reopening at a responsible date. And that's what we did. Post-COVID, MPOX, sorry, I'm supposed to call it MPOX. Post-MPOX, we have been growing steadily, but over the years, I've been figuring out which parties are growing, which ones are not. So where we are currently is we Fornication in Fort Lauderdale, DC, and Dallas have been growing, and those are our steadies. Houston, it's been a rough way to, like, how do we get our numbers to grow? It's been really tough there. Tampa, same thing. Wonderful venue, wonderful guys. We just can't grow our numbers. Los Angeles, been, Palm Springs, tried a few times. Most likely we're going to go continue with Los Angeles, but maybe on a different footing, something else. I'm formulating something. Stay tuned. Palm Springs, we decided not to try that anymore. Nothing against Palm Springs. After you try something X amount of times, you just say, hey, maybe we need to focus somewhere else. So same with Tampa. Seriously, I really hated to say no to that, but when I've done 3 parties there and didn't make 1 cent. We broke even basically within a few dollars every time, and that's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears 3 times in a row. And I wasn't kind of convinced that we could grow it. Let's talk about Houston. So, I talked to Dave, our advisor, and we talked about Houston and Tampa. And we both decided that Tampa was, again, I love Tampa. I have a great time there. Business-wise, for Fornication, we just needed to, we didn't see the future of it growing to where we needed to, because there's another part of the story that's coming up, which is the future. Houston, Dave said, hey, what about Matt Coven? And I said, yes. So what do I mean by that? Well, I've had my eye on Matt Coven as a potential person to take over my Houston party and potentially the Houston and Dallas parties. What I mean by taking over is managing it, running it, promoting it, incentivizing, so that, as many of you know, I physically drive from city to city. My truck has got 478,000 miles on it. And I got to get a new truck next year. So, but in the meantime, I've literally had it in my mind that, Matt has come to so many parties. He's got a group of people in Houston. They've shown up, they volunteer, they help out, they do everything we needed to do. He knows how to run a party as well as I do. What he doesn't know is all the clerical work, all the work that it takes up until then. But that's easy to just disseminate that information. And so what we did is we basically turned the Houston party over to him, and it's the best decision I ever made. And basically, he's saving the Houston party. I'm very happy about that. I love Houston, as you know. It's one of my top favorite cities, and I'm very proud of what Matt has been doing. He's been sinking his teeth into it. He's been getting his friends to help out and employing. Now he has his first employee, and he's just growing as a person, and he's growing as a business. And I love seeing that. I mentor him, and it's just fantastic to see that he is making a go of it, because this is what I said is, if anybody can make the Houston party go, he can. And here we go, he's doing it. So very proud of him for that. And let's see what else. Those are basically our regularly scheduled parties. The other parties that we do are once a year. New Orleans, we did a bunch of different ones and ascertained that the only one that's worth doing is the Southern Decadence one, which is the one coming up this year, is September 1st, Sunday. Last year we sold out, expected to be sold out. Get your tickets now. We will probably have 7 or 8 performers. Right now there's 5, I believe, on the roster. We'll be adding as the numbers climb and grow. It is an amazing event. It's once a year. The other event that I talk about is coming up, I'm very excited about, is Fornication Fan Fest at Timberfell Resort near Knoxville, Tennessee. And last year was our first year, laid the foundation, the groundwork, get to know the place, and let me tell you, the people who run that campground have been nothing but wonderful, amazing, welcoming, and committed to taking last year's and growing up just as we have been. We launched this year's tickets on January 1st, and we are off and running, and we've already basically tripled the numbers from last year. So it is now a destination spot, a yearly thing to do. So what is Fornication Fan Fest? It's 4 days, 3 or 4 days of scheduled events, get together, classes, parties, pool parties, workshops, and then of course there's a fornication party during the schedule of the weekend. I bring my performers in for that particular event, but they are also there. Now, this is where Fornication Fan Fest goes exponentially higher. What does the Fan Fest refer to? It is content creator heaven. A lot of content creators, the event is designed to bring content creators together to a venue and a space to shoot. You can basically be naked on the entire grounds and shoot anywhere within respectable, respecting other people's spaces, and so fans, general public, come and enjoy, interact, watch the shooting, don't watch the shooting, hang out at the pool, live DJ at the pool, every night at the tavern's busy. We have workshops. Matt Coven and Sir Kirk are doing classes on BDSM, Truths and Lies, and the sub headspace. Daddy Rod is basically doing the opening speech, talking about, I love it, Ho, why is you here? I love it when he said that's what he wants to talk about. Basically, let's get ourselves into really fun, wonderful headspace so we can get the most out of the weekend. So he's there to basically talk about consent, how do you interact, what does it look like, and also the specific nuances, because there's so many porn stars there, we're going to have more than 50 people, porn stars there. How do you interact with them, us, in a way that you might not have ever considered before? We deal with certain elements and certain, business ideas, and we're busy. And what's the best way for you, the general public, to interact with us? Because we want to be interacted with. And it's just a matter of, here's an opportunity to hear what it's like from our standpoint. So, trying to think what else amazing stuff going on that weekend. So get your tickets now. Basically, they've sold out all the lodges or the cabins currently. There are 34 nearing completion. They're growing, building. In addition to that, we have 2 hotels that we're sending people to, and we're having a free shuttle back and forth all weekend long. And those, so you don't have to worry about getting a space on the property. You can also get a hotel off site, and we have the shuttle. So, we can handle 300 or 400 people, and we're actually anticipating that. So there's that. The other party that we've got is New York City. We're back to New York City, September 13 through 15. A lot of details we're still working out, but what is already in motion and what is the determined is the fornication party on Friday evening. This is the 13th of September, and we've got a performers lined up. Tickets are on sale. That's the another once a year event that we want to create as a destination spot. New York City, September 13. Get your tickets now. What's the future? Ever since Fornication was designed, I always called it our event. It wasn't just me and my and I. I was creating something for everyone. And so for me, it's been a community project, a community event. And so my mind was always focused on we, the community, us. What can we do to make this a sex-positive sex space to live and not go away? So one of the ways that I always saw was if we could go nonprofit. So what we're doing is we're launching Male Adult Industry Network, MAIN, M-A-I-N, Male Adult Industry Network. That is going to become a nonprofit to reduce suicide, alcohol, and drugs in the adult industry. And the way that is achieved is through mentorships and workshops throughout the country. Many other ways, but that is the premise of MAIN. Fornication will become a fundraiser for MAIN. So that is the future of fornication. So when I talk about thrilled that Matt has saved Houston, that means That means that, you know, getting through until we go nonprofit, and then there's many ways that we can grow these events and grow them and make them more financially viable, especially if they're nonprofit. So that's the future. We're working on that. Again, it's in mid motion. I will update you as things progress. First and last, you've been through all of this with us. It's been a hell of a lot of work and worth every fucking blood, sweat, and tears. There is no way I would change anything about how this all played out. It's happened exactly the way it should. You know, with all the extra work that's been, with all the, you know, roadblocks or hurdles, you just stay committed. So if anybody wants to know how we've done it this way, life's not all about me. That's how. You stay committed to something that for myself and everyone. And that's how you get through something like that. And you also create it so that it can live into the future. There's no way I want this to go away. And the gratitude I get from people telling me just how wonderful time they have at Fornication tells me people want this, you want this, and I'm committed to creating the foundation so that it will live. So more on that very soon. I'll be sending out a bulletin inviting people to get on the board. We'll have probably 11 or more board members, and look for this details on how to apply for that in our newsletter. And once again, this is a 6-year anniversary video to let you know what's going on, to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been quite a journey, and you have been amazing, all of you. You know, your support. Volunteers are diehards. They're there every time. They love coming in. You love coming in, enjoying and helping out. And without you, you know, we couldn't be doing this. So let's see, is there anything I missed? I think I covered everything, all my little points that I wrote down. Thank you again. Come tomorrow, there will be cake at the Fort Lauderdale party. Wilton Doe does their magic, and it's going to be chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. So again, my name is Ray Dalton. This is Fornication we're talking about, and drug-free is the top component about Fornication, and we have porn stars there for you to meet and greet. So hope to see you tomorrow and at a party near you, and let's stay committed to Fornication to the future. Thank you.